My amplified unit, top of the morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, salute. A lot to discuss for this Monday Night Raw, September 19, 2022. And this whole situation with Karrion Kross and Bray Wyatt just seems to get stranger by the day. Ever since Friday night, this thing has taken on a life of its own. From White Rabbit being played in the arena on SmackDown during a break, a commercial break, and then all these QR codes last night and what they led to. You would say from the jump that all signs point to Karrion Kross, especially with the little hourglass in the lower right-hand corner where that QR code led you to. There's an hourglass. But you could also make the case that there's so many teases for Bray Wyatt's return, because surrounding that hourglass was Bray Wyatt's red circle. And if you know by his social media, you know exactly what I'm talking about, among other things. So we're going to talk about that. We'll discuss that, because that has just, again, it's taken on a life of its own, and it's beyond bizarre at this point for many reasons, and BC's going to go over it coming up. And if you're talking about bizarre and Monday Night Raw especially, you have to be talking about Dexter Lumis. I mean, this dude literally sliced his way through the canvas last night. This dude cut his way up. He cut the fuck. It was old school Undertaker. Only we never saw Undertaker actually cut it, I don't believe. We just saw it fucking, his hand would go. Maybe he did cut it. Did Undertaker used to... Well, I just remember the hand coming up for the Undertaker. I mean, this motherfucker, he just had a fucking blade slicing through the canvas. And I've never seen that look on Tommaso Ciampa's face to another dude anyway. Tommaso's a really tough dude. He doesn't get shook by that many people. I don't even see Tommaso being shook by Brock Lesnar, to be honest. But Dexter Lumis, this guy was like, something wrong with this dude. Beyond bizarre. We're going to talk about it. And with Extreme Rules less than 3 weeks away, I guess you could say it's ironic, a coincidence. It's more fitting for BC that you would get Bayley and Alexa Bliss in the main event of Raw last night with Extreme Rules less than 3 weeks away, because that will be 5 years. 5 years ago when Bayley met Alexa Bliss at Extreme Rules in one of the worst women's wrestling matches, one of the worst matches I've ever seen in over 3 decades following pro wrestling, man. It was a kendo stick on a pole match between Bayley and Alexa Bliss at Extreme Rules 2017, I believe. And wow, was that bad. If you ever want to check out the anatomy of a bad wrestling match, kendo stick on a pole match, Bayley versus Alexa. So here we are 5 years later, and it's almost fitting that they're in the main event. Were they able to rectify that horrible match? The good news is yes. We'll talk about it, and more importantly, what happened after the match for Bayley and Bianca, and what it does for Charlotte Flair. That's right. I'll discuss coming up. We also had a United States Championship match kick this thing off, and a really cool face-to-face backstage segment with Finn Balor and AJ Styles. Now, it's early in the morning. The sun has not even made it out the front door yet. Neither has my assistant, Sasha. That's how early it is. So BC is getting what we call the jobber entrance. I have no intro theme. You guys have already noticed that. So BC is basically just in the middle of the ring with no theme music. But the good news, Sasha hooked it up. She made sure I was good to go this morning. The coffee bar is fully open, guys. We're about to have a fresh Dunkin' hazelnut, hot brewed coffee hot off the press, and we have the iced coffee ready to go. This is brand new to the coffee bar right here. And this is 30% lemonade, 30% sweetened iced tea, and 40% amplified cold brew iced coffee. So we're going to be double fisting throughout this Monday Night Raw review. This could take a minute, so grab your snacks, grab your beverage of choice, and come on back, man. We'll take a little bit of an ad break so that when you come back fresh and ready to rock. So I'm going to get this thing started. We'll take a little bit of a break, come back, and talk all things Monday Night Raw and what it means for Extreme Rules, Crown Jewel, and Survivor Series War Games. We'll talk all about it coming up right now. Amplified. All right, we got the hot hazelnut Dunkin' fresh brewed storming up. We are going to also double fist an amplified cold brew iced coffee. So let's get that rocking as well. Got a double stream here. Yeah! Salute to my amplified unit, man, on this Tuesday morning, afternoon, evening. Wherever you are, again, salute. All right, let's get this thing going, man. We started this show with more pyro. You never know with WWE, man. With Triple H, it's becoming a bit more, it's becoming a bit more of the normal. That's good. You need pyro. You just do, guys. It may seem so simple to you, and it is. But sometimes it's the simple things that matter the most. Something like pyro. I've said this many times to my tried and trues. Sorry, not sorry, I have to say it again for newer subscribers or newer people jumping on board onto the channel. Triple H tells the story about he would be backstage in the Attitude Era and they would feel the pyro back then. You wouldn't just hear it, because back then the pyro was different. The show was called Raw is War or War Zone. Let me show off the merch here, by the way. What am I doing? See, that's what happens when Sasha's not here, my assistant. You got to show the merch off, man. Teespring, BC Amplified. But you wouldn't just hear it. You would feel that pyro. And back in the day with Raw is War and War Zone, the pyro was just like you were in the middle of it was just explosions, and it was a beautiful thing, a beautiful sight. People would have to show up and put earplugs in that were near the stage. That was a true story. A lot of people, fans and people backstage, would put earplugs in. That's how thunderous the pyro was. So Triple H always tells that story. And when he took over, and for the first week, maybe 2 weeks, but first week, something like that, maybe it was the second one. I don't know. There was no pyro one of those first weeks, and BC was like, nah, man, H, you can't do that. That's what signifies to the crowd in attendance and to everybody at home. That's what signifies that that's the place to be for the next 3 hours. You can put the remote control down. This is something special, something simple like pyro, man. So last night, and if you look at the pyro, judged by the last 10 years when Vince would do Monday Night Raw pyro to last night's opening pyro, you can tell there's a difference. It's not the same as the Attitude Era's Raw is War Zone type pyro, but it's still a lot more thunderous than the last 10 years of Vince McMahon's Monday Night Raw, whenever he would sporadically throw us some pyro. The generosity of VKM on a Monday night. But not only was there pyro to start this, but it felt a little bit more special. Pretty cool. I had to talk about that. Now, opening matchup is a United States Championship match. This kicks us off. Champion Bobby Lashley taking on challenger Seth Rollins. This was a 22-minute match. Now, many times it looked like Rollins was walking away with a W. BC will absolutely say that, man. And would that have been the right call? Eye of the beholder. BC says there's no way Bobby Lashley's reign can just end like that on a Monday Night Raw. To Rollins, there's no shame in that. If you look at his win-loss record, you would say There's shame in it, but it's Seth Rollins, one of the best wrestlers in the world. His record just doesn't show that. And when I go at the end of going over this match, I'll tell you what I mean and what his record actually is in winning percentage, and it's quite sad actually. But Rollins himself losing the title to Rollins, that's not that big of a deal. That's believable, and Rollins is a deserving champion. But you can't do Bobby Lashley dirty like that. And there was many times where it did look like Rollins was walking away with that W and a shiny new title, a boot. But late in the game, we hear over the arena sound system, bro. Sure enough, Mr. 420 heads to the ring. This is enough to distract Seth Rollins. And when he turns around, he is met directly with a Bobby freaking Lashley spear. 1, 2, 3. Rollins is pinned flat. Bobby Lashley retains his championship. Now, Riddle never entered the ring. This was odd because he supposedly has great disdain for Rollins, right? A monstrous grudge to handle with him. And there he was, just staring at Rollins 4 feet from him. Rollins is right in the middle of the ring looking at Riddle. Riddle is just staring at him through the ropes. So that was odd to see because for the last several weeks, their beef has been so monstrous, and now they're just staring at each other. Nobody wants to make a move. But I guess you could make the argument, you could make the claim that his main goal and objective was to cost Rollins a title win. That's what he showed up to do. That hurts more than any fist he can throw at his dome piece. I'm going to cost you the championship. So, in that regard, okay. No harm, no foul. It just looked weird. For the last several weeks, they couldn't wait to get their hands on one another, and now they're just staring at one another. But he did cost them that big, shiny new title. Bobby retains. It's the right call. Can't do him dirty. I can't say that enough. I don't care if it's Rollins or the Pope. Wouldn't matter. As for Rollins, he now sits at 9 wins out of his last 50 matches. Let me get my hot coffee going here, man. 9 wins out of 50 matches. True story. If you're wondering what the winning percentage of 9 of 50 is, Seth Rollins is 18% for a winning percentage. That means he only wins 18. If you're looking at the last 50 matches, Rollins only wins 18% of his matches. You don't have to be a viewer of pro wrestling for decades to understand that's just not very good. So while he's one of the best wrestlers in the world, and I know he's working as a heel, sort of. I mean, he loves to have everyone sing along to his song as if he's a face, so it blurs the lines and it confuses casuals. But he is a heel, so you can lose more. And he is so damn good in the ring, he can lose more. But 9 of 50? Bro. Salute. That is a hazelnut creamer inside of a hazelnut Dunkin'. Pretty fucking awesome mix. I don't stir it. I let it be layered. You could see just the black coffee or the hazelnut tint at the top, and then the creamer just kind of sultrates from the bottom to about 2/3 of the coffee. It never quite reaches the top. Pretty cool layer. So you don't even need to stir that, man. Let that sit, and you'll thank me later. Salute. And salute to Bobby Lashley for retaining his championship. Absolutely the right call there. I just don't know Seth Rollins. After should I go over this now? Fight pit? Do I go over this now or I'll go over it later, man. There's a receipt coming later in the night that we'll go over. I think that's hour 3 maybe. Yeah, hour number 3, there's a receipt coming, and that leads to an Extreme Rules match, so we'll wait on that. We'll move on for now. Lashley retains. Damage Control enters the parking lot of the arena in a nice stretched white limousine. Yeah, coming in style, man. Learning from the nature boy, Ric Flair. That's how you show up to an arena. We go to commercial break. When we come back, Bayley, Io, and Dakota ride out to the ring in a damage control themed golf cart. That's right. It's a golf cart with like the damage control logo on like the hood and the sides. It's decked out. You got Io and Dakota on the back. Bayley's riding this thing. And more importantly, lots of pyro for damage control, making them feel really important. The limousine, the golf cart, they're too good to have to walk to the ring. No, we're going to take the golf cart. They got pyro. I mean, all right, Triple H is going out of his way to make them feel special. Now what you got to do is the main ingredient, which is giving them good booking, right? I don't want to see them just in 6-woman tags. I'm sure a lot of you, most of you, don't want to see them just in 6-woman tags. Well, BC, they got the tag titles now. Bayley might get a championship if they don't bring Charlotte to the red brand because they don't know what to do with her on the blue brand. We'll talk more about that later. So, I mean, they'll have titles on their own. Yeah, but they're WWE takes any group that's 3-4 and they just constantly put them in schmaz matches to the point where it's not even special. I can't tell you that Asuka, Alexa, and Bianca versus Damage Control is any more interesting today than it was 6 weeks ago. I can't honestly tell you that. I mean, this is not the best use of an Asuka. It's not the best use of your Raw Women's Champion. And immediately throwing Damage Control into a 6-woman tag, that didn't make them feel special. I like how last night, man, they got the pyro, the limousines, the golf carts. It's those little things. They're not so little, man. They really do help out. But I like the golf cart. I really do. BC is going to call this the Damage Hunter 5000. The Damage Hunter. I just love it. I don't know. For some reason, while they were riding down, I was just thinking the Damage Hunter 5000. That's what that little vehicle is going to be called. I just hope that this doesn't prevent Shotzi from getting her tank back. Shotzi just turned face like in the snap of a finger, blink of an eye on Friday night. She came out to help Raquel Gonzalez. I just, if she's going to turn face that quickly. And we heard that the tank was sent to SmackDown, guys. It was sent over to Anaheim. So it looked like they were going to debut Shotzi's face turn with the tank. They decided against the tank. Shotzi just ran down to the ring to help Raquel. Now we see the Damage Hunter 5000 on Monday with the Damage Control. Does this mean Shotzi's not going to get her tank back because they don't want two different entities driving down to the ring? I hope not, man. That if Shotzi's going to be face, give her tank back, damn it. BC is hung up on that tank. So aside from the entrance, which everything was just phenomenal with that. I just hope this doesn't, I just hope it doesn't take Shotzi's tank away. That's all. Everything else, I loved entrance-wise. Control cuts a promo. Out comes Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka. This is just what I'm telling you about. See what I mean? I mean, we did this 6 weeks ago. We thought it was just a filler to get us over to Clash at the Castle for a filler match, right? Just a 6-woman tag, right? Bianca Belair, maybe they just don't have a number one, or just somebody to face her for the championship right now. They're going to hold off on Bayley. They don't know what they're doing with Charlotte, so they're just going to throw Bianca in there. Okay, Asuka, they have nothing for. Alexa, they have nothing for. Okay, Damage Control is a faction. We're going to just throw them in a 6-woman tag. I get it. Okay, so Clash, let's get it done with. Let's fucking move on, please. And here we are, man, ever since the Clash. Last couple weeks, we're still just doing these 6 ladies. And that shows you they don't really have the direction. They have nothing for Asuka. Nothing. Alexa Bliss has had nothing, just like Asuka, for the longest time. And I don't know what this 6-woman tag is supposed to be doing. And with Bianca Belair, it doesn't feel like... Bianca Belair, if you look at her win-loss record, is through the roof. I mean, she's won more than 45 out of her last 50 matches. That's incredible. I mean, I just told you, Seth Rollins only won 9 of 50 at 18% winning percentage. Bianca Belair has over 45 wins out of 50. I forget the exact number, but it's huge. But the tail end, the last several months, she's not feeling like a champion. She's thrusted in the... I said this about Wardlow over in AEW. Being in 6-man tags on pay-per-views like All Out, a tag team match at Grand Slam tomorrow night. I said it about Thunder Rosa when they teamed her up as champion with Toni Storm and became Thunderstorm. And I'm like, what are you doing with these champions? They don't feel it. I'm saying the same thing with Bianca, man. This whole last 6 weeks, it's been about Asuka and Alexa in a trio. What are you doing? This is how Asuka got ruined in her title reign. Bad booking, man. She was just in a tag team with Lana. When Charlotte came back, she needed Vince McMahon wanted Charlotte to get a face rub, and she knew there was no connection with the audience. So Lana got booted, and then Asuka had to hold the hand of Charlotte, and then before you know it, Asuka didn't have the title anymore with no actual title reign. Well, this is what I'm saying here about Bianca Belair. What is this doing for her? It's right now they're just playing a game of TikTok. It's the hourglass, right? She knows her time is coming. She's about to drop that championship. If WWE does not go with Bayley, they're going to go with Charlotte. If you don't know what I mean, I addressed this in yesterday's live stream. There is serious discussion, not confirmed, not by a long shot, serious discussion that they want Charlotte to go over to the red brand and actually be the one to dethrone Bianca Belair and take that championship from her, upping her title reign even more in a splash comeback. I have not heard any more word if that's going to be her winning the Rumble and choosing Bianca, so Bianca holds it to Mania, or sooner than that. But if Bayley does not win this thing at Extreme Rules, look for it to be Charlotte Flair, and you heard it first here. I'm hoping that's not the case. There's still lots of time to change that. But remember what I said. If Bayley does not win at Extreme Rules, don't be shocked if it's going to be Charlotte Flair, because that's actual discussion backstage. Over in Stamford anyway. So Bianca Belair is just playing a game of wait until we take the title off of you. That's all we're doing with Bianca now, and that's a shame. Bianca's so damn good, she should be booked better than that. I can't say she's being booked any better than Asuka and Alexa lately because she's just a third wheel like them. I know that's harsh criticism, but I'm just over these 6 ladies constantly being together, man, and nothing feels like it's separate. Not even the tag team championship victory of one of my favorites, Io Sky and Dakota Kai. I don't know, man. I'm waiting for that to be done. Hopefully at Extreme Rules that will do such. But Bliss and Bayley, this whole thing with Bianca, Asuka, and Alexa coming down to the ring to interrupt Damage Control's big championship celebration, tag team victory from last week. It's a little bit of a celebration. They got the confetti or the streamers out. Again, the pyro was awesome. These 3 ladies come out, they interrupt, and all it really does is it sets up a match later in the night, the main event, Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. Again, it's kind of ironic. It's leading into Extreme Rules less than 3 weeks away, and 5 years ago, Alexa and Bayley had one of the worst matches I've ever seen, a kendo stick on a pole match. I tell you to go back and watch it. I'm probably going to save you by saying don't go back and watch it. 2017, I believe it was. Extreme Rules, Bayley versus Alexa. We're going to go over the main event, Alexa and Bayley, for this night a little bit later, and hopefully I can be way more positive about that match than I was about 5 years ago, because I was not too positive about that match, and for justified reasons, by the way. There was nothing to be positive about. So, you got to be truthful. A lot of people don't want to hear that. They just want you to speak positive, but you can't sugarcoat. On this channel, we're never going to sugarcoat or bullshit. That's the only way that we can be truthful to the wrestlers themselves, and that's really what this channel is based on, man. So you guys can be informed, more knowledgeable, leaving a BC Amplified video than coming in, and also hopefully I'm entertaining you the whole way through. But also it's for the wrestlers, man. I really created this channel for the industry professionals to really get honest feedback. I think that's important. I know that's important for them, and there's a lot of channels on this platform, and there's a lot of podcasts, and everybody has an opinion. Opinions are usually like assholes. Everybody's got one, and they're usually full of shit. I don't like opinions. I like facts. So with so many people crowding the podcast community, especially for pro wrestling, and the YouTube community for pro wrestling, BC needs to stick out for sure. And the way to do that is by dropping more knowledge and more facts than anybody else. That way, the wrestlers themselves know where to come to. And I know there's a lot in AEW and WWE and so many independent wrestlers that view this channel. And I am so grateful to you guys. If I can put my amplified unit to the side for just 1 second, man, I want to give a salute to the actual wrestlers, because there's a lot of them. You guys know who you are. Much love and respect. And I appreciate you choosing BC to be your number one source for everything pro wrestling, for all the honest feedback that I know you crave. You just know there's no other place to really get that. It's one opinion after another. Nah, I got you guys, man. So to the pro wrestlers out there, salute. And something like that kendo stick on a pole match, that just did not cut it. Here we are 5 years later. We'll go over that, man, just a little bit. Alexa Bayley. Hopefully they can rectify that match from Extreme Rules 2017. Hour number 1 ends with Austin Theory versus Kevin Owens. This was a way more of a competitive match than a couple of weeks ago between these two. Because this is a rematch. A couple weeks ago, they had this match, and that just ended in a stunner, I believe. Austin Theory flat on his back, 1, 2, 3, looking up at the lights. In this match, there was a few times I thought Theory had Owens beat, to be fully honest with you. But in the fourth quarter, Johnny Gargano distracts Theory, and that was, I think he grabbed his briefcase, right? I think, Johnny Gargano distracted him by grabbing his briefcase. That's what happened. And Theory's like, you don't touch that. I think Theory was going for it. He was going to use it. I don't know why. I mean, he was in control at that point. But he was going to get his briefcase. Gargano comes out of nowhere, takes it. Now Theory's even more pissed. And that was enough of a distraction to allow Owens to hit a cascading pop-up powerbomb for the victory. Owens 2, Theory 0. Are we done with it now? Was this fully worth it? I mean, this was all... what the fuck is going on with the merch here? Here we go. You don't got the video off, man. You didn't just do your job. The job is when the video is done. The merch is trying to fucking go back to bed. I know it's early. You got to sell yourself. But yeah, I don't know if they're gonna like run this back a third time. There's no real need to now. I thought. Here's what BC was thinking, and. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to do Theory dirty like this, and it's really not. There's so much potential in this kid, Theory. So what I'm about to say would not damage him, but it just makes sense. I thought they were going to give Theory this match, and that would even them out at 1-1. So what you do now is you say, okay, well, now this needs to be settled, right? We have to have the rubber match because this is 1-1. There's a little bit of a feud that's brewing now, man. It's gotten to that point with the awesome promo from last week. Even the first time they met, the promo setting up that match was good. Last week's promo topped that by tenfold. And here we are. We need the rubber match. Now, I would have done that right at Extreme Rules, briefcase on the line. Because it's clear there's no... Guys, Roman Reigns is not dropping any title in 2022. It should not be to Logan Paul anyway, and I think Roman's going to be involved in War Games. So, and even if he's not, it doesn't matter. He's not dropping a title. So, Austin Theory, where is he? If The Rock isn't winning this title, and I understand a lot of people don't think the title is needed, and even if it is, The Rock shouldn't be winning it, no matter what creative you have planned to BC. That's in the eye of the beholder. I don't even care. That's not the discussion right now. Whether it's The Rock or Cody Rhodes, I see you split the titles up. Cody Rhodes has to be at least winning one of the belts, one of the titles. But it's Cody Rhodes' obviously to win if they're not going to do something special with The Rock. But even if you have some, even if they're going to try to recreate a Daniel Bryan moment with a Johnny Gargano, it doesn't matter. Where are you possibly seeing that Theory is cashing in? You're not going to hold off this Gargano thing because that would be fucking... Gargano's not jumping over Cody, so that's not even feasible. It's Cody Rhodes. And you're not going to have Theory defeat Roman Reigns to cash in. You're not going to have Austin Theory beat Cody Rhodes' culminating moment. He finally wins the title, especially coming back from injury like that. He was already on the road to winning the title. Now coming back from injury, it's going to be even more special and meaningful. And Theory just beats him, just cashes in. He's going to cash in on The Rock. I just don't see how that is going to happen, man. Kevin Owens with the briefcase makes so much more sense. You can set up something special with Roman Reigns. I don't know. Kevin Owens, maybe he gets, if you separate the titles, maybe Owens is that other guy. So you're right, maybe The Rock doesn't get a championship. Maybe it's not even for that. Maybe it's Cody Rhodes gets one title, Kevin Owens cashes in on another. But I feel like Kevin Owens with the briefcase means so much more. Kevin Owens is on a meteoric rise back to the top. Ever since Triple H took over, it's clear that Owens is benefiting huge, and the momentum is on his side. And I feel Owens with a briefcase, Owens with a monstrous cash-in that would electrify an entire crowd is so much more impactful than Theory cashing in. And I'm high on Theory. I just don't see him cashing in to be a bigger moment than Owens with the briefcase cashing in. And the circumstances right now just scream Owens makes more sense with the briefcase. I thought that's where they were going. Theory wins this match. It's 1-1. Extreme Rules is around the corner. Put a stipulation on it. Put the briefcase on the line. Owens wins the briefcase. And Austin Theory can still be booked to the moon afterwards. That's not going to destroy him at all. I thought that's where they were going. They said, basically, hold my coffee. We got something else planned. Owens is just going to squash Theory some more. Theory's going to keep the briefcase. So when Theory does finally cash in and he's got 1,000 losses beforehand, he's going to be that special. Losing match after match will make him so special by the time he cashes in, BC. Everybody will not be able to wait to watch this cash in. Okay, brother. So that pop-up power, so he's won by the stunner, he's won by the pop-up power bomb. I don't think we need to see anything else between these two now. Looks to be over, but somehow WWE next week on Raw will have them run it back. Hour number 2, the Brawling Brutes versus the Street Profits. That starts hour number 2 because, brand split. Yeah, that's it. There's a brand split. Brawling Brutes just show up, full ring gear. We've been seeing this, man. SmackDown, you got the fucking Alpha Academy just showing up in fucking... Alpha Academy shows up on SmackDown in full ring gear. Strowman comes out, fucking knocks them the fuck out, and then you're like, what the fuck was the Alpha Academy doing there? The New Day is showing up to both brands every fucking week to have 8-man fucking schmaz matches. You can't make this shit up. You just can't do it. Match was actually good. These 4 dudes worked their asses off, man. Brawling Brutes versus the Street Profits. Crowd could not have been any more silent than they were throughout this entire match. Until the final few minutes when 100 of them roughly started chanting, "This is awesome," while sitting down. I'm not making this up. You can go back and watch this. 100 fans started chanting "This is awesome" while literally sitting down. And literally, it was the most uninspired "This is awesome" chant that BC has ever seen or heard. It was beyond uninspired. They were just going through the motions of the chant, guys. This is what I mean. If we're not going to use the chant correctly, can we just retire it? Because "This is awesome" no longer holds weight. It used to be a way for the fans to show their appreciation and the wrestlers to know that they're doing something next level. Now, every single match that has some good sequences gets "This is awesome" chants. I used to think it was just for the flips and dives matches. Now it's just for just anything now. Any match that goes more than 10 minutes and has a couple good sequences, we're just going through them. This is awesome. That's when we used to stand up and fucking, should be showing our appreciation. We would be just electric as to what we were witnessing. This is awesome was the highest chant you could give them in respect. Now, go back into this match, listen to the part. It was in the final few minutes. Watch. Don't just listen. Watch the fans chant, "This is awesome." Again, it's only about 100 of them. And they're just literally sitting down, going through the motions. I saw some people literally going like this. "This is awesome. This is awesome." Basically yawning. They're looking around. It's going through the motions, guys. That's not what the chant was started for. Basically, they pay their money. They can do whatever they want. You're right. You're right. And I have a channel, and thousands of people watch it, including wrestlers. So I want to say to the wrestlers, I apologize on behalf of those fans. And to the fans, to my amplified viewers, to my amplified subscribers, if you ever go to a live event, I ask you one favor. This is awesome. Reserve that. Cheer your dome piece off. Have the time of your life. I always tell you guys, as bad as WWE was for the last 10 years, I always say, if you're going to a live event, get some good beverages, be around good people, and you're going to have a great time because it's always a fun night out. You know, you're around like-minded people. You're just around that good atmosphere. It's pro wrestling, man. It's what we love at the heart and soul of it. So I always say that, man. Go cheer, have the time of your life. But let's not get carried away and be ridiculous. Let's not ruin the prestige of the business. And let's not tarnish what we, the fans, helped create. You know, just don't show up to an event and start chanting wild shit like, "This is awesome." I mean, do you know what the word awesome means? You can't go better than that. And we're starting to chant it for everything. I just wish we had a different chant. I wish we had like, "This is really good." I know it doesn't go. It doesn't flow. I don't know. If you got a better idea, jot it down below in the comments, man. Do you have a better chant that we can start with so we can work our way up to awesome? It just seems like that's all we have. Awesome is now the new normal for decent or good. I used to say fight forever. At least we still have that. These days, that's like 2 minutes behind "This is awesome." So you get "This is awesome," and then you get "Fight forever." And we don't have anything else, man. It's like we ruined the fun that we helped create. You know, when that "This is awesome" chant first came about, man, it was really cool. And I remember it being used for like Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, and so many others. I don't know. That's my side rant. I couldn't believe, but I could because I've saw this trajectory happening for years now. I watch it. They couldn't even get it onto the whole arena. It was so sad. It was like 100 people. 200 would be the tops. And they were just like, "This is awesome. This is awesome." They're eating stuff in their face with popcorn and shit. Do nothing. Donaldson's on his phone. Popcorn Paulie's fucking stuff in his face, trying to chant. Popcorn's flying out of his mouth, going 2 rows in front of fucking slutty Stephanie. Getting in her fucking cleavage. So what the hell? This is awesome. What the hell? I don't know what the fuck. It's early, man. The coffee's starting to hit. Back to the match. That's just the chants. It was good. And before the chants, again, what started my whole little side rant, everyone was literally sleeping before that. And then it's just like they woke up after a cool sequence and they just felt like they had to start. They were just like, what? This is awesome. It's like wrestling fans are trained. They're trained to just fucking spit out "This is awesome. Fight forever. Holy shit. Holy shit." Right? If fans had like fucking dolls, sorry, unless you're like the ladies, they might want dolls, action figures that you see in the Target toy aisle, you know, you get your new fucking WWE action figure. Well, if they had the fan collection, if they had the you pull the string and they say something, it would be all the redundant chants that we spit out of a sound sleep. All right, I promise that side rant is over. Back to the match. Brawling Brutes, SmackDown talent versus Street Profits. Again, they worked their ass off. It was actually a good match. They were just... I'll just leave it at that. Because this brand split just pisses me. Just end it. It's almost like Triple H wants to. I mean, he's sending more people over than Vince McMahon at this point. It's been more the tag team division, I noticed, because it's so non-existent. But we're just making Survivor Series war games, no longer brand versus brand. That's what Triple H said. It's going to be actual storyline driven. Those were the words that he used. So that's a good sight to see. Maybe the brand split is finally coming to an end. I don't know what else. But you can't have your cake and eat it too. We want the titles split, 2 separate titles, because it's just not working with 2 together. I love Roman in a long title reign. I just don't like 2 titles if they're not going to be separated. But then if you do that, then you have to have a brand split. But if you're going to have a brand split, just make it a brand split. This is what I'm saying, man. You're blurring the lines, man. And it's no longer a brand split when people are just showing up on the other show in full wrestling gear. They got a live mic, and the person who's running the show doesn't give a shit. I mean, is eating popcorn with Popcorn Paulie, and they're just like, they finally look up at the screen, and they're like, "Whoa, wow. Hey, look who it is. Paulie, is that Raw talent? Is that SmackDown talent? Is there a brand split? Is there not? These are the little things that BC is absolutely going to harp on, man. As I said earlier, with something simple like Pyro that can help a show be better, little things like this aren't so little that help make the show worse. The Brutes defeat the Profits. Butch pins Dawkins. So the Profits get handled by a team not even on their brand. The future is promising for the Street Profits. And if you're wondering, should the Brawling Brutes defeat the Usos for the titles on Friday night? The answer is an absolute resounding no. No. Not just because it's heels versus... Oh, no, the Brawling Brutes are supposed to be faces, right? Wait, I was told the Brutes are faces, man. You guys told me they're faces, man. I did a live stream, and I felt that the Brawling Brutes were heels, but Sheamus was just getting a better reaction. You guys told me on the live stream that they were faces. Aren't the Street Profits faces as well still? So we just had faces versus faces for nothing. With a team that's not even on the brand. This match made 0 fucking sense. And now on top of that, if they are heels, they're taking on more heels in the Usos Friday for the championship. It doesn't even matter. If they're faces or heels, listen to the reaction that the Brawling Brutes got when they defeated the Street Profits last night. Go ahead. Listen to the reaction. If you don't have the time, I'll save you the time. There was 0 reaction. That crowd went right back to sleep the second the Brawling Brutes got that victory. Up next, Judgment Day ends hour number 2 with a promo. Very good, too, man. Each member had a separate microphone. They fed off one another exceptionally well, especially when it was time for Dominic to speak. The crowd was amped up with the boos. It was beautiful to listen to. And it seems like the crowd, the nap that they took during the Brawling Brutes Profits match paid off, right? They took a nice nap during that tag match. They were refreshed, and they were booing the shit out of Dominic straight out of the arena. It was great, man. They were loud in their anger towards Mysterio. Balor, Rhea, and Priest did a great job antagonizing the crowd to get the boos even louder, and you could tell they were soaking it all in, proud of their work. Hearing that crowd reaction and just how loud they were was amplifying Judgment Day. It's probably been a long time since Balor, Priest, Rhea got that reaction, aside from Balor, if ever. I mean, I can't count too many times that Damien Priest and Rhea Ripley get that type of reaction. Dominic's a little more used to it being with Ray, his daddy-o. And Balor's been in those moments several times. But, I mean, to listen to that crowd, I mean, you could tell they were antagonizing beautifully to get them even louder. And that disdain for Mysterio grew deeper and deeper as the promo went on. So it was really building up to Dominic speaking. When he finally does talk, he says he's never been more happy than with his new real family, the Judgement Day. Big diss to his father. And the faction then poses for a photo middle of the ring. I love this, man. They're feeling good about themselves. They just eliminated fucking Edge. They're going to do the same thing to Papa Mysterio, supposedly. So that they're posing for pictures in the middle of the ring, man. Bro. Yet again, that is heard over the sound system in the arena. Matt Riddle's bro. His music plays. Here comes Scooter McGillicuddy, Mr. 420. Seconds later, scooting out of the curtain on his little scooter, Rey Mysterio joins him, and we go to commercial with a tag team match awaiting us at the start of the third hour. Ended hour number 2. Let me just get a swig. Double fist here. Let me get a big swig of my hot brew coffee. My hazelnut Dunkin'. Salud. Now, this is a good... I think this is a good time to before I get into Matt Riddle, Rey Mysterio versus Finn Balor, Damien Priest, Judgment Day, start of hour number 3. Before I get into that, I just want to touch up again on this Karrion Kross, Bray Wyatt situation. Again, this really started between who is... White Rabbit was playing, right? Now this song, it's... it's very... If you listen to the words... you can easily put that to Karrion Kross. It's a tease for him, and you can easily put it for Bray Wyatt. And it's been playing on SmackDown this past Friday during a commercial break, lights out, songs playing, and when it hits the deep cut, you had the red light spotlight onto the staging area. That's what got people really going, damn, Bray Wyatt. And even though White Rabbit, you could easily put that back onto Karrion Kross, who he is. If you know, you know. But White Rabbit, the rabbit is also synonymous with Bray Wyatt. So that's what got people talking, guys. That's my point. So then you see these QR codes, like last night. This dude's walking through the crowd, and the hard cam's picking him up, and I'm thinking, well, is Kevin Dunn not seeing this, man? Like, get away from that. What are you doing? You know what I mean? Some fucking idiot's going into business for himself. No, this was part of the show, man. And if you scan that shit, it led you to... I'll let you... I don't want to ruin... I don't want to spoil it. I'll let you guys check it out. And you could easily... It's got the rabbit, and he's stomping on letters that I believe spelled demon. Again, I don't want to spoil too much, but I have to say something because it's a conversation that needs to be had. So it spells out demon. That doesn't really fit Karrion Kross. Demon is more for, aside from Finn Balor, but I don't think that's happening. That would be Bray Wyatt, man. That's way more him. But it also, if you scan that code, in the right-hand corner, lower right hand, you see an hourglass. Well, that's Karrion Kross full and full. That's Karrion. The hourglass. TikTok. However, there's a red circle around the hourglass. It's almost like Triple H is having too much fucking fun with this now. And if it is Bray Wyatt, you got to believe it's his brainchild, and Triple H is letting him have that fucking rope. He's letting him fucking dance with his creativity. So it's teasing Karrion Kross, but it is Bray Wyatt almost. But you have the red circle. Well, if you followed Bray Wyatt's social media, I think he still has it. I'm not big on the social deal, but I believe last time I checked, which it was a while back, but he's got the red circle still, man. That's Bray Wyatt. And that was surrounding the hourglass. You still have the rabbit, which could be either one of them. My thing with this is it makes no sense if it's Karrion Kross. This dude's established. Karrion Kross is already in something with Drew. He can do something special with Roman down the line. Cody Rhodes versus Karrion Kross right here. This presentation with Scarlett. Let's rock. Him and Cody. 2 or 3 fucking matches. Couple pay-per-views. I'm down. There's no reason to tease any more. I mean, there's no reason to put this much time and effort into something that is already working, I feel, masterfully. Masterfully. I mean, you would do something for like this for a huge return or a new superstar. Karrion is established. I see no reason why this would be needed. Especially teasing on both brands. I mean, you gotta believe this is Bray Wyatt or bust. I mean, right? Let me know how you guys feel about it. But you gotta believe this is Bray Wyatt or bust. This is way too huge to just be another level of Karrion Kross. And I love character development. But this, you're getting people's hopes up big time, man. If this is just Karrion Kross, that reveal might not get a great response. I just don't know what they would be leading to if this is Karrion. In BC's mind, man, this is Bray Wyatt or bust. It said 9/23, one of them. Did you see that? 9/23. Like, we're going to find out on September 23rd. Well, my calendar says Friday Night SmackDown. Well, that's Karrion's show. Maybe it is Kross. Do they have Bray Wyatt show up on a fucking SmackDown 2 weeks before Extreme Rules? Does he set up a match for Extreme Rules against Braun Strowman? Do they want Bray Wyatt back in time to go over to Saudi? So many questions. I don't know. I have to talk about it, obviously. This is a pro Bray Wyatt channel. We love that dude here. And I don't want to get my hopes up too high. But even though all signs point to Karrion Kross, there's also many signs that point to Bray Wyatt. Back over to the start of hour number 3, Matt Riddle and Rey Mysterio versus Finn Balor, Damien Priest. This was a good tag match, but you just knew Seth Rollins was going to show up and collect his receipt from earlier in the night when Rollins costed him the U.S. Championship. Or Riddle cost him the U.S. Championship, I should say. And sure enough, bingo, that's what happened. Rollins comes out, causes the distraction, add in some extra distractions from Rhea and Dominic, and there was no way Ray could overcome the numbers. Coup de grace, his hit, and Balor and Priest roll out of San Jose, the winners. Backstage, Rollins and Riddle are coming to blows. Referee suits and ties are breaking them up, and they're screaming at one another. And they decide at Extreme Rules to run it back once more. We think once more. In a fight pit match. You guys remember the old fight pit. Listen, I don't know where you're going here. Riddle losing this match when this is his first. I mean, he's the Jimmy Smith said it best, right? I mean, he used to. What did Jimmy Smith say? He used to fight for a living. Way to say that pro wrestling isn't exactly the realest thing, Jimmy Smith. He used to fight for a living. Now he just pro wrestles. But having Riddle lose this is just obnoxious. On the flip side, how the fuck are you going to have a guy who's only won 9 out of his last 50, seems to lose every pay-per-view? Luckily, that changed recently, but for one pay-per-view, Clash. But how are you... How do you have Seth Rollins lose? This just seems like one of those situations where neither man can lose. I don't like those situations. They're going to have to get uber creative, especially in this type of a match. But I got to be honest, man. Unlike in years past, where you get to Extreme Rules, most of the time the card isn't even finalized. And I'm talking like a day or two before the event. But on top of that, only like one match has a stipulation. I mean, it's Extreme Rules. And you can't even get stipulations, or at least fun ones. I mean, this one is shaping up. We're starting to get some puzzle pieces are falling into place. You know, we're getting a little creative, like a fight pit match. I mean, let's be honest, Rollins Riddle, I'm good with that. I just don't know that they're going to have to get uber creative with the finish. Whoever loses this, I hope they're uber protected, man. It can't be one of those things where somebody wins and then after the match, the guy who lost gets back up and beats up. No, that's not a fight pit, man. What? That defeats the purpose. And you're telling us that we're going to see this a fucking again to the end of the year or the end of time. At some point, Rollins and Riddle is going to have to end this shit, man. So that sets up their Extreme Rules match. Easily, BC's favorite segment of the night was up next. I think you guys know what that was. BC's favorite segment of the night up next. This is Miz TV. I know, you're thinking BC's favorite segment was Miz TV. Well, hold on. Let me explain, please. But this was Miz TV. Tommaso Ciampa was out there with him, middle of the ring. Miz is fed up. He's calling out Dexter Lumis. He even tells a funny story about beating up Stuart the Minion at his 3-year-old Madison's birthday party. So he has his birthday party for Madison. There's a bunch of fucking minions, and he can't get Dexter Lumis out of his dome piece, and he's thinking, which one of these minions could be Dexter Lumis? He ends up beating the shit out of poor little Stuart. Beto. They all leave Madison's birthday party pissed, and Miz now has a fucking a big minion bill to pay. I thought that was funny. I thought because I pictured it. I'm a creative dude, so if you're gonna plant me a good story, man, I'm picturing that shit. So I like that story. Then all of a sudden we see a blade slicing up through the canvas. I'm not even joking, man. Like, you literally see this fucking blade come up through the canvas. Old school Undertaker status. I just don't think Undertaker ever had a fucking blade. And it starts slicing through the mat, through the canvas. Dexter Lumis pops up with only that look that Dexter can give. Miz tries escaping, but Dexter Lumis grabs his leg. Must be his younger brother. Ezekiel Elias, Dexter Lewis. He grabs his leg. What happened? Oh yeah, Ciampa is able to save him. So he's about to be dragged underneath the ring, or through the ring. Tommaso saves him, but then Lumis grabs Tommaso's leg and tries to drag Tommaso down. Tommaso fucking panics. He grabs the microphone. He clocks Dexter over the dome piece. Dexter goes back into the abyss underneath the canvas. So he just fucking bows down back through the ring. Tommaso and Miz are now in the corner like, I've never seen Tommaso look at another dude with such fucking panic and fear and trepidation, but he was. And Miz crawls back to the hole to see if Dexter is like fucking, is he gone? Did he go back into the upside down? And all of a sudden Lumis pops up once more like a fucking, you ever see like he's a groundhog or a whack-a-mole? You ever see whack-a-mole? He pops up in a different spot and you gotta whack the son of a bitch. Lumis was like a whack-a-mole. He just pops up. And fucking Miz shoots back into the arms of Tommaso. It was great, bro. Fucking Lumis is just the king of my games, and he's so much fun. I used to love this dude in NXT. He could also do comedy, by the way. If you guys ever watched NXT, the stuff he did with Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell, Johnny Gargano, just some really fun stuff. So Lumis can carry many storylines, and he can go in the ring too, man. It's not like he's just all show, no go. That's not the case with Lumis. It's just so good, man. So good. My second favorite segment of the night followed that, actually, and that was just a simplistic backstage segment between Finn Balor and AJ Styles. Styles is on the phone backstage. Judgment Day is walking around the corner. They see him. Balor tells Judgment Day. Balor says, just take off. I'll meet up with you guys later. I got this. So Judgment Day takes off. Balor goes to see his old buddy, AJ Styles. He goes up to Styles. Styles expresses his displeasure for the way that Balor has been conducting business since joining the Judgment Day. Balor drops a great line, man. I love this line. Finn Balor looks right at AJ Styles. This is one of the best lines I've ever seen Balor cut in his career. And it's simplistic. He just says, hey, I came here looking for my friend, it seems like you are looking for a fight. He says, are you, AJ? Are you looking for a fight, AJ? Right in his face at this point. Great face-to-face before Balor laughs it off. And he gives an awkward hug to Styles as he says, nah, you're not looking for a fight. You wouldn't do that, AJ. And he looks at him after this awkward hug. And Balor says the offer still the offer to join Judgment Day still stands. He says the offer still stands. And he gives the too sweet symbol. The hand gesture for too sweet. And AJ's looking at him like, you fucking Balor. Are you serious, man? I like that. I know we've seen Balor and Styles, but man, it was so cool to see Styles in something that I gave a shit about, because for the last 2 years, I can count on one hand, and I'm being generous, one of the best wrestlers in the world. And I know a lot of people are like, well, man, he should have been the one facing Roman at Crown Jewel, not somebody like Logan Paul. No, guys, you don't want to feed Styles, because the storyline wouldn't be too much with Roman. It's going to be mostly bloodline. Roman's not going to show up for a bunch of shows before Crown Jewel. So it's just going to be Styles versus Jimmy, Styles versus Jey Uso. Styles maybe will get a match with Solo, and then he's going to get beat, fed over to Roman. And then it's right back to being, no, let's get something really brewing with AJ Styles. Let's really get fun storylines. Let's get a string of victories for Styles. Let's really start to make this guy the fucking AJ Styles that he always should have been. Not holding the hand of Omos. Not part of a 6-man schmaz week after week. Not fucking sitting at home or backstage and catering eating a triple layered moose cake because creative doesn't have anything for him. No, man. That one little simplistic backstage segment, and Balor just, man, he sounded and looked so badass. I love that segment, man. So back to back, those are my favorite segments, man. Dexter Lumis scaring the shit out of not just Miz, but Tommaso coming up through the ring. You got fucking Balor and AJ Styles with a great face-to-face backstage segment. And this leads us into our main event, Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. 5 years after their 2017 Extreme Rules nightmare. Kendo stick on a pole match. One of the worst matches you'll ever see in pro wrestling. That's one of the things. That's one of those matches where we all kind of just agree on it universally as a wrestling community. Were they able to rectify this? Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. Yes, that's the good news. This match was a lot better. Was it a great match? No. Was it good? Eye of the beholder. You guys can decide. It was at least decent, and I'm taking that shit. Much improvement. Bayley hits the Rose Plant and defeats Alexa. That had to happen. Alexa doesn't really have anything, and I'm hoping that changes. There was a moment where the lights went out during Alexa's match. Now, that's another Bray Wyatt tease. That's what I'm talking about. Now, you may say, well, BC, I don't want Alexa back with Bray if he returns. Well, that's fine. I would love it. I would love Alexa Bliss and Bray Wyatt. They have so much unfinished business. WrestleMania, when she was on that Jack in the Box, and with Bray, I mean, that was such an iconic moment. You look at the crowd, listen to the crowd at WrestleMania. It was Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton. Alexa Bliss shows up on top of this huge Jack in the Box, whatever the fuck you call it. She's on top of this thing. Watch the crowd. Listen to them. Bray Wyatt and Alexa literally had the whole world in their hands, or at least the wrestling world. So anybody that says, oh, Bray doesn't draw, no, he was the number one merchandise seller. His ratings were always the highest on the show. And you listen to that fucking WrestleMania crowd, there was very few reactions the whole weekend that got that type of a response. That's how special Bray is. And him and Alexa, that's how into his segments we truly were. You can say he doesn't do it for you. Oh, it's boring, it's redundant, it's stupid. Watch and listen to WrestleMania, and that's how BC was where I was watching it. I was fucking loving that shit. And then boom, RKO, Bray's done, and he's not seen again. Just like that, gone. Him and Alexa Bliss has no direction after that, and to this day she hasn't. The lights go out. I just feel that's another Bray Wyatt tease. Why would the lights go out during Alexa's match? They come back on. Alexa loses. I don't know. Maybe they got a plan for her. Maybe it involves Bray. But Bayley could not lose this, man. Damage Control has to be legit. Their name is Damage Control. Their mission statement, I guess now, is literally we want to take over the women's division. Okay, here's your chance. Can't be losing fucking matches randomly. on Monday Night Raws to Alexa Bliss, who has no direction. If she had a direction, maybe I can fucking stick up a little bit more for Alexa. I like Alexa. I want to see her I want to see fucking a correct conclusion to her and Bray Wyatt's storyline. But Bayley had to win this thing. Post-match, Damage Control takes out Bianca Belair, and Bayley says now she wants the title match, and it's going to be at Extreme Rules. I do like how they drew it out a little bit, right? Bayley kept saying, oh, yeah, you thought I was just going to come back and thrust myself into a title match? No, it's going to be on my time, my terms. So she wouldn't really... Bianca was like, come on. If we're going to do this, come on. I'll put the title on the line. Just fight me. And Bayley's like, no. It'll be on my time. And then after the beatdown, she's like, yeah, it's going to be... It's going to be at Extreme Rules. And now we have to have that discussion of does Bayley take the title from Bianca? And in the last couple of months of Bianca's title reign has been non-existent, man. She's just been in these 6-man schmazes. She's been made to just try to help get Damage Control over, which I don't know if 6-man tags is the way to do that. In fact, I know it's not. It did not do them any favors. But that's been Bianca Belair's last 2 months of a title reign. And then Bayley just takes that at Extreme Rules, or, like what we're hearing, strong consideration that they are not going to put the title with Bayley right now, and they're going to have Charlotte Flair go over to the red brand and eventually take the title off of Bianca Belair. I think this picture is going to be way more clearer after Extreme Rules. Obviously, there's no I think. If Bayley does not win that title, then that's pretty much your answer. Charlotte Flair is coming back. Charlotte Flair is going to defeat Bianca Belair. Charlotte Flair is going to go to the red brand. And I mean, does it make any more sense if Charlotte goes to the blue brand and takes the title off of Liv Morgan? And if that's the case, how the fuck does Liv Morgan not defeat? Or how does Ronda Rousey not win an Extreme Rules match against Liv Morgan? How the fuck are you going to explain that realistically? You got to believe Ronda is taking the title at Extreme Rules. It sucks for Liv Morgan that her title reign ends at that point, but you can't realistically tell me that Ronda's going to walk out of an Extreme Rules match without the title. And if that's the case, Charlotte Flair versus Ronda is what we're going to get, because you know Charlotte's going right back to the title picture. And even if Liv finds a way to walk out with the title, Charlotte Flair is going to take it from her. We're just going to repeat this fucking process. No matter where you put Charlotte Flair, it should not be into a title picture. Not for a long time. Just build her up in storylines. And I do say build her up. You're like, BC, she's been on the roster for years. She doesn't need to be built up. No, she does. Because even after all these years, she doesn't connect with the majority of their audience. And that's a problem. So put her in storylines. I'm fine with that. There's zero reason why she should always be a champion when you're not even booking the ones you have right now correctly. So we're going to get a much better picture of Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan's title picture after Extreme Rules, and where the fuck Charlotte Flair fits into this. We could even see Charlotte Flair come back at the rules that are extreme. My name's BC Amplified. This was your Monday Night Raw review for 9/19/22. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you were entertained. While also getting a lot of facts and knowledge entering your dome piece. That's what I want to hear. That's what I like to hear. So I hope that was the case. To any newer subscribers that jumped on board, welcome to my tried and trues. Salute. You guys are the absolute fucking best. And with no Sasha, the sun is starting to come up now, man. What have we been going over this an hour? I think we're well over an hour, aren't we? Sun is finally starting to come up, which means Sasha should be showing up to work within the hour. By then, we're already going to have the video done. But she's got a lot of other... she's got some pre-planning to do for me and some set designs to do. And I'm going to put her to work. Don't worry. I got some traveling to do. But she's going to be hard at work at the office. But the goal is to have an impromptu video tomorrow, actually. I know it's a Wednesday. Grand Slam, New York City. Yeah. Stay subscribed and notified. I got some we got some big stuff coming up this week. So that's all I'm going to say about it. I don't want to say too much just in case some things can't happen, but we're going to move some things around. We got some special things planned on the channel. So with that said, I'm going to have a jobber outro just like I had a jobber entrance. I got no assistant here. I got no theme music. But until next time, Top Guy and I'm out. BC saying check you later. Check you guys. Much love and respect. Salud.